So this could be the end of the Aces Dynasty. And if you guys are excited to see the end of this for now, obviously, things can change very quickly. Subscribe. We are trying to get to 58.2 thousand subscribers by the end of the day. Right now, we are 14 off. We get to 14 more subscribers by the end of the day. That would be absolutely insane. But we have got to talk about this right here. We've got to talk about the potential that Jackie Young is gonzo. Because the Aces have, in fact, given the core designation to nobody. They have offered their qualifying offer. They have offered it to both Kirsten Bell and Nalissa Smith for the restricted free agency. Therefore, they can hit the open market and they can bid. They can try and match bids. They did not offer the core designation to anyone. They didn't need to offer it to Asia because we know she's coming back, and we know she's coming back on the Supermax. Jackie Young, the rumor is that she wants to get paid. You cannot afford to bring in Asia on the Supermax, Jackie on a max, and Chelsea on a max, and bring back anyone else. There is also the situation where I don't see how Nalissa Smith and Jackie Young can play together. I don't see how that's possible. I just don't, based on obviously the kind of dynamics there. And obviously they seem to want to keep Nalissa Smith, or at least they don't want to just let her walk. It would be, for me, crazy if they let Jackie Young walk for nothing. And even not to get a core in trade. Worst case scenario, if you went to Chicago Sky and you were like, okay, yeah, we're going to core and trade her, we're bringing back Ariel Atkins, but that doesn't solve anything because you're not going to really be able to match salaries there. But by the looks of things, core and trades might not be a thing really, because unless it is like a 1-for-1 swap, a core and trade to save salary doesn't really work. Which is what would happen in the Aces case. Let's just say again, a hypothetical. I don't think this will happen, but a hypothetical possible core and trade is Kelsey Mitchell, or let's just say Jackie Young for Ariel Atkins in the 5th pick. That would be a hypothetical core and trade if it wasn't for the fact that they can't afford to pay Jackie the money. Chelsea Gray is going to take a max. I do not think Chelsea Gray earns enough outside of the WNBA to give up on $200,000. You're going to have to pay, realistically, both Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young $900K each if you're wanting to build a championship squad around Age Wilson Supermax. You're going to have to pay them $900K each. That being said, with the Fever, if you can average $900K between Caitlin and Leah Boston, this season you can do it with Kelsey Mitchell. But you're not paying both of them $900K each. They're not leaving $300K on the table. It's not for them. It's not worth a championship. And not only that, they've already won 3 of them. Chelsea Gray's won 4. Does winning a 5th championship matter when Chelsea Gray can go to the fucking Mystics? And hypothetically, and the Mystics could go and offer Chelsea Gray a 3-year, $3.6 million deal. And that ends coinciding with Kiki and with Kiki and Sonia's rookie contracts finishing. So they can overpay her for a bit to have an elite point guard with them because they're making a win now move. Jackie Young's in the same boat. The Mystics can offer Jackie Young the max. She can't be offered a supermax by anyone that she's not currently playing for. But you're not going to core, if you are somebody like the Mystics and you're like, okay, yeah, Jackie Young wants to come to us anyway, but we're going to pay her $200K extra in a core and trade. And then also, and in the core and trade, sorry, you can't even get paid more in the supermax. So maybe the Aces are just they're pulling a DeWanna Bonner. Maybe they're like, look, we actually won't be able to do this. And we have to know one way or the other whether she's going to be here. And with the Fever, where the Fever literally cut a player just because it was a headache. That is a fact. The Fever cut DeWanna Bonner because it was a headache trying to get rid of her and having her there. and it becomes awkward. Maybe they just like, we don't want to have to worry about what players we're getting in. We have to get this working quickly in free agency. So fuck it. We're building around Chelsea and Asia and see what we can get for the rest of the team. But like the Golden State Valkyries can pay her to Supermax or can pay her to max. There's a lot of teams that can pay Jackie Young a max and are going to be borderline contenders. Like, I'm sorry, there's a world where the Golden State Valkyries are like almost as good as the Aces. Like, if Jackie Young leaves the Aces and goes to the Valkyries, the odds of the Valkyries being equally as good a team as the Aces is kind of high. Like, these are the only players that were court. Alicia Gray, Ariel Atkins, Arike, Kelsey Mitchell, Kelsey Plum, Nafee Collier. Ezzy Magbagor is a really weird one. Like, I get it with the expansion franchise, but Ezzy Magbagor is a really weird one. Like, who the fuck is going to court? Like, do they just want to run the double bigs? And you know what? The double bigs is interesting. The double freak athletic young bigs is actually an interesting combo. And like, if they're tearing it down, they actually have the money to core Ezzy Magbagor and also pay Gabby Williams. If Skyler and Necker are leaving, they can pay Gabby Williams, run the double giants, maybe draft Olivia Miles with their third pick, and find anyone to play the two. Like, they've got a good team out there. All we know is definitely there's a 0% chance that Lauren Betts or Howell Pham goes to Seattle. But with the Aces, I think it's a really tough situation where they really do have to they have to make some decisions, because look, if let's just say hypothetically Jackie Young wants she wants a multi-year max. They can't afford her. Chelsea Gray wants a multi-year max. They can't afford her. Or maybe she's less likely to want a multi-year max. I don't know. It's genuinely one of those things where we don't know all the ins and outs if any of these players go. And also, these players could come back. Like, if these three players leave or stay, the Aces probably don't have the cap space to build anything crazy. They're probably not going to match an Alyssa Smith. And they're probably the three of these. And you suddenly then you're probably paying $4 million for the three of these. I'm going to be on, or let's say $3.8 million. That gives you $3.2 million for 9 more players. Like, that gives you less than $400K per player. And you don't have a single player on a rookie deal. Like, you don't. You don't have a single, you let Olivia Nye leave. You don't have a single player on a rookie deal. So, yeah, anyway, that is pretty much it, lads. That is the video. See you guys.